We're always fresh and a little bit sticky. Keep it locked on Cannabis Wiki. We're always fresh and a little bit sticky. The green room on Cannabis Wiki.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Green Room, live from Paradise Cannabis in Fort Erie. Hey Crystal.
Hi.
Thank you for filling in and being my life-saving co-host today.
Of course, anytime.
Really appreciate it. Well, we are joined by Natalia, the general manager.
Oh, I am the assistant manager.
Whoa! I
Nick
just gave her a huge promotion. Right here. Assistant manager. Nick is the general manager. Nick with the fancy
mustache.
Yeah. So hello, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Make sure you're talking into the mic.
For being here. Oh, thank you for being here.
Well, this was a pleasure. Really fun. We're having a great time. This is a beautiful store. Holy do we've got some stock in this store too.
Yeah.
Do you do that? Do you pick the stock, or you help pick the stock, or
all our staff helps to pick the stock. We generally give Nick with the mustache. I'm just gonna keep calling him that now. We usually give Nick like a kind of a list of things that we take a look at, new things that we'll look at online. Sometimes we'll do that together, like in the vestibule.
right?
And then sometimes we give in a list, sometimes we don't. And then Nick also has his choices and obviously the LPs and stuff that he is talking to as well.
How long have you been here?
I've been here since opening, and I left.
And when was
once.
opening?
Opening was February. Actually, we just turned 2 years old, February 21st.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Congratulations.
birthday.
I mean, it's a tough gig, right? It can be.
I think it can be. I think why I laugh at that is because I feel like Paradise makes it easy.
Oh, that's nice, because there's a great staff here, like a great group of people.
Good
It's
vibe.
really good vibe. It's really welcoming. You don't feel, first of all, my very first time in a dispensary, I was a little overwhelmed and I was nervous, and it was very sterile. It's not
Very
like that
cold,
in here.
right?
This is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be cold.
Yeah.
I think even when you walk into the ones that are kind of fancy and lodge looking, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Some of them are very lodge looking.
They are.
Apple store looking,
Yeah.
which I'm not. I mean, I have an apple, but I'm not an apple person.
Apple store looking. And to be like, the biggest thing for me coming into Paradise was when we sat down as a group that first day, the inviting staff that came from they were running a head shop.
Oh, so it was a
And
head
they
shop
were,
first.
Yeah, and they were really inviting 3 individuals who personally helped all of us, I think, be welcome in this place.
So you had mentioned to me earlier that I know everyone has to take CanCell to work in the cannabis space, but that you had taken the Sommelier course
Yeah.
as well. What's that? Can you explain what that is a bit and why?
So Cannareps, they are in British Columbia.
Mhm.
They have a sommelier course, and being a sommelier has to do with grading flower, knowing your flower too, from smell, look, taste, all of those things, just like we would do for wine or water.
That's
It was-
really interesting.
It was really interesting to me to take the course, only because when I looked at I looked at all the information that I would be learning, it really put another spin on it. I think we tend to go high THC a lot. And unfortunately, what we're doing
Yes.
by
high
doing
THC.
that, by always going to that high THC, is we're taking out a whole group of individuals who don't want high THC too, because there is a whole group of individuals in our cannabis communities who don't want to have like 30% THC. Some of us only want like 25 to 20.
Some of us like to smoke all day.
Yeah. and you can't be smoking 30% THC all day. I think like that would make me pass out, regardless of whatever that category is that you're smoking, sativa, hybrid, indica. The biggest thing to me too was learning, like when I went into the Cannareps education, like those categories that we use are really just marketing categories. They're not really like actual scientific categories.
Is that like indica sativa? Is that just
Indica sativa hybrid is what we have been using definitely on our market space.
just because it's the most common lingo,
It is,
right?
yeah.
Like it's just something a consumer knows to ask for.
Exactly. And it works. Absolutely, it works. But I think as we move forward, we do need to humbly give the information that that's actually not the categories. You know what I mean? Like at Canna Reps, we learn about haze, kush, indica, and Afghanis.
Yeah.
Sativa is actually just part of its name, right?
Yeah.
Cannabis sativa. Sativa is part of the plant's name. Sativa is not actually a category, but because our customers do know that information, that's where we do go. But I think as we move forward, we're going to have to start to move towards going away from that.
Did you take the sommelier course? You took it after your cancel? Were you already in the cannabis space? Have you always been in the cannabis space, or where do you come from?
I took my cancel during COVID.
Oh, that's a fun thing to do.
Right. And I started a job during COVID too, which I think is the most amazing part of the cannabis industry, is that we didn't lose any of that while we were in COVID. To be honest, for me, cannabis is something that saved my life. You know what I mean? Like,
Do you mind telling us a bit about your personal journey?
yeah, absolutely.
Natty B.
So I have endometriosis. At some point it got into like what's called stage 4 endometriosis. It does have stages just like cancer. Endometriosis is like the growth of cells outside of the uterus, but now a lot of people, like, now they're starting to find out that it's not just something that is a uteral disease. It's a cell disease, and it can affect males too.
Yeah.
It affects females most, but it does
And it's
affect
painful.
some males. It's very painful. I went probably about 15 years not knowing exactly what was going on in my body, not knowing why I was so tired all the time, why my stomach didn't like food. I am plant-based, gluten-free, soy-free, all of the allergens free, because all of those things upset my body and my system.
Oh, wow.
And the only way for me to have a life...
Cannabis?
Yeah.
Yes.
The only way for me to have a life on a daily basis, especially before my hysterectomy, was cannabis, to be able to get up in the morning without and ease that pain somehow without having to take pills every day or having to take some form of narcotic. Because when you go to the gynecologist, when you have endometriosis, they have no answers for you.
Right.
And we have like women who are like 25 years old who have no answers. Why am I in so much pain every month? Why am I in so much pain for 3 weeks out of the month? It's
And then
like,
they're just treating the
it's
symptoms.
1 week. And they just treat the symptoms. And then what happens to us is we become a number. And we become a number. We go to many gynecologists, one after the other.
When cannabis can help.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of narcotics, in my eyes.
Did you use cannabis suppositories? Because I love them.
Not something that I had available to me when I was really
Going through this?
Yeah, I had a hysterectomy.
Me too.
Yeah, it's not a cure though. Like, it's not a cure, but I will say this: it made my life 85% better than it was before.
Wait a
That's
second.
huge.
So when you have endometriosis, you have a hysterectomy. It's not the cure? Because I thought if the
No.
uterus was removed.
No, I was when I went looking for relief of some sort, went to a specialist. The specialist at London Health Sciences.
Mm-hmm.
She let me know, because I had to ask for a hysterectomy. It wasn't something that was put on the table as something that could be done to make it better. I had to ask for it, and I asked for it because I did my own research around me of all the women who have had endometriosis around me, and every single one of them told me that a hysterectomy made them feel better, way better, especially the ones that were going through the exact same thing I was. Like, I was bedridden often before I came here. I had a hysterectomy as soon as I literally started working here, and came back after a week, even though I was...
Wow. I've had a hysterectomy and I didn't go anywhere for well over 4.5 weeks. I think it was close to, it was a little over a month.
Nick was like, what do you, like, how are you back after a week? You
were high.
You were high. And I was just like, cause like to be honest, I feel like it was because I felt so much better. Like I was really bedridden before I came to this job. I lost many jobs in 15 years. I tried being full-time here, full-time there, doing really well, but then my sick days would start to add up, and then they would start to question things, and then I would get fired or like laid off because there was a layoff coming on.
And because you had endometriosis. The
Yeah,
pain.
and it wasn't something that you could just be like, hey, like I'm just in a lot of pain in my like, you know what I mean? Like they don't take it that way. They take it like, well, isn't that what you deal with on a monthly basis? Yes, but mine is extreme, on the extreme side.
Do people come in here to Paradise Cannabis and ask about what does anyone ever say to you, I have endometriosis, or I'm going, because I know you're not doctors, and I know you're not allowed to diagnose things, and you're not allowed to give, you know, like sort of medical advice or whatever, but the regular customers got to come in here and ask, you know, this is what I've heard that a cannabis can help, or I've heard. Do people come in and ask you questions about their health?
I think I'm very open when it comes to a lot of the things that I've dealt with in life. I've dealt with a lot in life, from being like I was an addict when I was a teenager, went to rehabilitation, all of those things. So I think I'm just very open when it comes to a lot of that stuff.
And look at you now.
Yeah,
Good for
right.
you. Good for you.
Right. So I think I'm very open when it comes to that. I think that energy pulls through when people walk in. So I feel like people just talk to me about it. They'll say like, I need something for pain. And I'm just I just have more questions. And it's not because I'm trying to be a doctor or anything like that.
Right, you're just curious.
It's just, I'm like,
generally
hey,
interested.
Well, and then there's like a few questions that you can ask when somebody is asking you something medical when you come into a recreational space.
What can we ask? What can we talk about?
I feel like if somebody says to you like it's for pain, you definitely can say something like, what type of pain is it? You know what I mean? Like, are you talking arthritis, or are you talking like something that might be from an injury? Because those two things, even in a recreational space, I know that CBD might not help somebody with like an injury.
Right.
You know what I mean? Arthritis wise, like we all know that like everybody who has arthritis is using CBD. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a very well known like
they
thing
slap
in this
that
industry.
shit on everything.
They do.
Or whatever. But when it comes to like major pain, most of us don't know that THC is actually beneficial for that. So I feel like those are the things that we do need to know as budtenders. And they are the little things that we can say. Like, I know I have a gentleman that comes in here with some major injuries in his back. And I can say to somebody who's like, well, like I have major pain in my back. This guy uses this and I know that it works for him. And that's the only way I think we can kind of reach in a little bit further for them. Other than telling them like your problem needs to see
When
a
I
doctor.
think of high THC, back to when we were talking about high THC, that's pain management. No,
it is. Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
pretty much what you.
High THC is definitely going to be pain management. Like, and that is something that we did learn through our Sommelier course too. Like those little tidbits of information that can help somebody who's just coming in recreational.
Does anyone else here at Paradise have their sommelier?
No,
just you.
No, just me.
And that's awesome. That's cool. And then the rest of them are can sell.
Yeah, rest are can sell.
But you would what?
But
you would like it if they.
We would like it if they were. I work pretty closely with Julie from Cannabis. Because we're alumni. We get together as sommeliers every Thursday on Zoom. And we talk about the industry. We talk about all the new things. We talk about what we feel is good, what we feel. We don't really feel anything's bad. We just feel things need work.
Need some work.
Yeah.
Need some change.
And then we talk about all of those things. I have a really nice community of individuals around me. That's what I found through Cannabis as well, and being a sommelier. There is a large group of sommeliers in Niagara. We all met at the same time, took the course at pretty much the same time. And we all try to get together and do things together. Last week, the Collectors Cup was right here in Niagara Falls. They had one. And that's because we all pushed for one in Niagara, because we were like,
Toronto gets everything.
Yeah, Toronto does get everything. We love you, Toronto. Like, we love you. We love you, but...
Shout out to the 6.
We love you, Toronto. I love Toronto. Like, I grew up in Mississauga. I didn't grow up here in Fort Erie. But
Niagara needed something.
Niagara needed something. Yeah. There's a lot of us out here. And you want to know what? Most of us take that car ride to Toronto and we go there and we go to the events where we want to be seen, and we want to be seen as that group of individuals that we know what good cannabis is.
Well, I've just by talking to the people here at Paradise Cannabis, the staff that you have, the group that you have here, they know what they're talking about.
They
They're
do.
very immersed in cannabis, in the community and involved.
Yeah, they are.
Do you? Did I already ask you? Are you part of the hiring?
So I got made assistant manager just a few months ago, probably like around October, and I like how things go slowly in here. Nothing's really like just shoved on you.
It's just, well, you have a lot of stuff. Now I want to know what your consumers, is the Paradise Cannabis, what is the typical consumer and what are they asking for?
Typical consumer is asking in our space for pre-rolls for sure.
For pre-rolls.
Yeah.
And I think I told you earlier, when we've been to a lot of dispensaries and we ask what their number one thing is and what people want, and they all say shred.
Yeah.
Everybody says shred.
I mean, shred does really good in our store too. I can't say that it doesn't.
But it's not the number one.
Nick, would you say that our shred is number one? Definitely shred. Yeah. There you go. See, pre-roll highways.
Is that like because of the price?
Cost. Yeah, I really do. I really feel like it is cost. It's not bad product. I'm not going to say that it's bad product, but I really feel like shred and something like highway actually speaks to those who may not have a large budget for their cannabis.
What do you think of the price of cannabis right now? What do you think of the legal market?
I think we've gone down a little in cost, which is really nice. At Paradise, the biggest thing that we try to do is keep costs down for our customers. And we try to keep things in our store that are really good cannabis, but also thinks about their consumer and how much it's costing them as well. Like Tribal is one of those.
Thursday is your special day.
Thursday is our special day that we give a 5% discount to all of our local individuals.
Oh, so like if they show their ID that they're like from the neighborhood, they live around here, they live in the region, they get a discount?
Yes, they do.
Money.
Oh.
Same with like our retirement age folks. They get a discount every day.
Just like Shoppers.
Exactly.
Shoppers Drug Mart has seniors discounts.
Everybody should have a senior discount.
For sure.
I'm like minutes away from mine. Like any day now, I start to get my Shoppers Drug Mart discount. It's funny. Sorry, I laugh at my own jokes all the time. Okay, so I slid in there a little bit. Natty B. Tell us who Natty B is and what does Natty B do?
Natty B is a creator, and that's what I do outside of being an assistant manager.
Artist?
Here. Yeah, an artist. Like if you want to call it that. I don't like to label myself artist. I like to label myself creator.
So what do you create?
Anything I want.
Oh, I like this. Anything. So there's art around us. There's art here in
Absolutely.
the dispensary. There's art, beautiful art on the walls, and there's some in the showcases that are just gorgeous. There's a beautiful picture behind me.
Yes.
Is that from staff or is that from?
So I have a. Not only are my staff, or our staff, I'm going to say, not only are our staff great at cannabis and great at letting you know what's good on the market and all that. I have a wonderful team of creative individuals. And I think in being creative, you generally tend to like attract
each other. I think so too. I think creatives attract.
So we have an amazing staff of creative individuals. We have Amanda on our staff, who is actually standing over there. Amanda on our staff, and she brings in a lot of great creative pieces into our display. So if we don't have like a creative display piece for the product that we want to put out, she generally will do something and bring something.
So if you're showcasing something for the month or for the week or whatever, she'll create something to go with it.
If she wants to, yeah.
Is any of your work here?
No. No, you know what it is I have my creative work outside of here, and I feel like this space is more for me to help other creative individuals, you know. There's a beautiful piece just right behind us here.
It's gorgeous.
That is a homage to Pure Sun Farms, and it was painted by Amanda back there.
Well, it's gorgeous. It's really nice. It was one of the first things I looked at when I came in. I was looking through the showcases.
Even just walking in here, every inch, everything's art, just different images, different pictures. I love it. It's welcoming.
Yeah, I think that's what makes a welcoming space. Creatives to me are like, so I read a book called The Rise of the Creative Class. And in The Rise of the Creative Class, it talks about how cities are made by artists, not necessarily by all of the large conglomerates that come in, but cities are made by artists.
That's so
If
true.
you have a city that's like kind of down, and there's many cities in the United States that are using this to bring their cities back up. Detroit is one of them.
Oh, like with graffiti and art installations,
graffiti
and art parks, etc. Like I've
brings it
noticed
to
that.
life.
Yeah,
It does. It brings it to life. It brings tourism to your city. And really, in essence, the artists are the ones that create your city and the tourism that comes to it now, anyways, because everybody wants those experiences now.
Don't you find lots of creatives in the cannabis space? I do.
Yeah.
I think it
Oh,
just
yeah.
gives you a natural flow, a natural vibe. You get into. I mean, I'm more creative as far as writing and my creative content stuff that I have to do. If I'm high, if I'm consuming cannabis at the time, it just flows better. It's just more interesting and more flow, and comes to me more naturally when I'm high.
And you want to have like different creative aspects in your store too. I think for me, becoming assistant manager and being in a position of leading, it's important that we do things for our staff that support them in the things that they do outside of our store too. Because I think that makes a happier place, and I definitely learned that from Nick.
You learned that from Nick.
Yeah.
So what makes Paradise Cannabis different? Like, how are you? I mean, I'm here, so I can see what makes you different.
Yeah.
What your typical consumer, and what do you offer that other stores might not? Like, what makes you different?
I think the biggest thing that makes us different is that we do offer the atmosphere that you are talking about. The atmosphere,
Real vibe.
Yeah, the real vibe. We try to be your friendly neighborhood dealer. I don't know about
I was
you.
gonna say it's almost like a family vibe.
Yeah.
Like, here, you're welcome here, hang out, have a conversation.
Everyone's welcome here.
I know and
Yeah.
love a friendly neighborhood dealer, and so
Yeah.
I totally get what you're.
And I mean, the friendly neighborhood dealer. I don't know about you, but I never bought herb off of anybody that seemed kind of shady to me.
No, right?
Some jerk.
There's
Yeah, I
always-
just got it from some total ass.
That's a stereotype of some.
It's always
creepy
like some
valley.
I always went for the hippie guy because they're always
Yeah.
happy, go lucky.
Yeah.
You know you're gonna go somewhere where you're gonna be safe. Safe enough, anyways. So and to be honest, like, and that guy always sells weed for years. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Years on end. So that's the vibe that Paradise asked us to put into this store when we first came in, and we were the first group that we had here. They asked us to bring in that kind of a vibe.
Was this the first store? Because I know you have 3. You have one in.
Yeah, this was the first store that opened for sure.
And
Yeah.
then there's one in Niagara Falls,
One in Niagara, one in Welland.
one in Welland, and the one here in Fort Erie.
Yeah,
That's
If
awesome.
And then I have to do shout outs too. Like,
Yes, of course.
please visit the ladies in Welland because they're just as amazing. Yeah.
So shout out to Welland.
Yeah,
Hey,
shout out
Paradise
to
Cannabis in
Welland,
Welland.
Devin, Angelina. We love you guys. I wish all of them could be here because if you take a look at our Welland stores, Instagram and all that stuff too, they're just as. Somebody said it the other day. We should have a television show.
Oh, that's fun. You should have some sort of, you could do lives or like do lives where they join in like the other stores. the
Yeah.
people from Welland and the people from Niagara, and you guys do some sort of funny thing. Because you do have some great content. You personally have some great content as
Thank
well.
you.
Like I've been following you for a little while.
Thank you.
So thank you for chatting with us a little bit.
No problem.
So
I could chat all day.
all right. Well, so when we're done this interview, I'm going to buy 2 things at the store. What would you recommend?
Ooh, right now?
I like to smoke weed. I don't like to roll my own.
So pre-roll.
So a pre-roll. I do also like drinks.
I want to know what you think of those monster joints.
Oh yeah, what's this monster joint? What?
I
that the
haven't
picture-
had a monster joint.
That's the picture. Do you
No.
sell those?
No, we do.
Yes.
Yeah, we do. We sell the new Good
Like
Supply monsters. They're
2.6
2.36 grams?
2.3?
2.38, which is the
Okay.
maximum that they can be at, I'm pretty sure, as in a pre-roll.
Okay, what do you think about maximums? What do you think? They need to be higher, lower? What do you think?
Higher.
Absolutely.
Higher is a good
Higher.
word. Higher.
Higher. Especially in our edible section.
Oh, I have to
Yes.
eat like 500 packages.
Right?
You know what? I really feel like we don't have the best baked goods right now, and it's because I think all those legacy brands that do want to come onto the
Sofa King.
are just don't want to. They're like not until they raise the
Till they raise the limit.
Yeah, raise the milligrams.
Because the low doses aren't enough to help most
Do you
of their
think-
customers.
Well, I think if we just went up to like 20,
Do you think?
Yes,
Okay,
right?
that's
Even
what
that
you would,
would be
you would say
reasonable.
20 because I would say
or just like
100.
I would say at
Yeah.
least 50. but
100
I
per
mean,
package.
Yes.
Right?
they do have those glitches, but it looks like they're gonna take that stuff.
Yeah,
off
I think
the-
so.
And then wasn't
The
there
edible
another
extracts?
one? Right. And wasn't there one Vortex or Vortex?
Yeah, the
that-
Vortex cubes. I had tried those. I think it was 200 milligrams per package or something. But it seems like
Wow.
they're
They
breaking
had the
some
Delta.
rules.
They had the one that was Delta 8 too.
And that's pulled
Oh.
now, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been pulled.
Pulled because it was too fun or pulled because it was dangerous?
Well,
Maybe a
I don't
little
know. Do we make I feel like sometimes we make decisions according to the United States. And in the United States, Delta 8 was put back to a category 1, I think it is. or
Yeah, it was
whatever.
attacked all of a sudden.
Put back to being a drug.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Delta 8 THC
And we
is,
all know
is
drugs are
now
bad.
a category 1. Well, it was synthesized. I think that's why. You know what I mean? Like when we synthesize anything, what happens?
Oh, that's true. We should have just left it as right.
Yeah.
Just left it as regular edibles.
Is there anyone else you want to shout out before we wrap this up? Thank you for having us here.
Oh, you're
like,
welcome.
It's been really fun. It's really cool vibe.
I was so nervous this morning, but that's just me.
What were you nervous of? That I was going to bite? Or
No,
that-
what that you were gonna- I know you don't bite. I've met you before. No. I think just like, oh my goodness. When it comes to like big things and like big things happening in life, as Natty B, I'm an artist, you know, like I paint things. I paint live. That's the thing that I do. That's what I really love to do, actually.
Where could we see some of your work?
On Instagram at Norton Natalia is my Instagram handle.
At Norton Natalia.
At Norton Natalia.
Need to check that out.
Check it out. You'll see all of the art things that I do on there. I went to MJ BizCon not too long ago, obviously in November. And I painted a chair there live for the Marijuana Chair Company. So yes, shout out.
Oh, really cool.
Shout out to Dina and Francois.
How do you say it? Marijuana
Marijuana chair.
chair.
They're actually the best Adirondack chair company, and then they have like the Marijuana chair companies from the United States. So they have like a collaboration with them. But yeah, I went with them and painted a chair live, and it sold off, auctioned for like $1,000.
Did you get a piece of that?
I did.
I thought you were gonna say no.
Of course. No, as an artist, you want to know what?
Yes.
I've been running my art career for 10 years plus, like just over 10 years.
Good for you.
And the biggest thing for me, the biggest thing for me to do for artists is to make sure that they get paid and make sure that they get seen. And the paid part is the biggest part to me. I think artists get used a lot in cities and in places like that for free.
Yeah.
And it's because often it is our own fault on the other end too, because we don't have business skills.
Right. Creatives usually, exactly. Freelancers and creatives, they don't usually have the business skills.
Right.
They're so
just good at
creative.
what they
They're
do.
just the artists.
Yeah.
That's right. Same with the bud tenders. We were saying
Yeah.
they need to, we need to pay our bud tenders. We need to listen to our bud tenders.
Yeah, same thing.
Give them
So
more ability to speak.
That's the big picture for me when it comes to everything that I do. Everything that I do, the big picture is making sure that the small voice
I love
gets
that.
heard. And the small voice is the artist. The artist gets used a lot in cities and these places for what we call like people will see you.
Yeah, exposure.
Exposure doesn't pay bills.
No.
And when you want to be an artist and that's what you want to do for your life, I think we need to, as an artist that does do well, for me, it's about giving artists places where they're going to get paid. You know what I mean? Like they're going to come in, they're going to bring their skills, and their skills are going to be looked at as skills, regardless if they have a university degree or if they've been an artist since a child like I have been.
And local artists could
Yes.
stop by here and you would love to meet them and see their art?
I would.
Because it might be showcased.
Yeah, it will be we have an amazing little community gallery going on, and we want to see the local artists from Fort Erie, from Niagara, from St. Catharines. It doesn't really matter. Bring me your stuff. Go to our Instagram page, sign up. There's a form in the bio.
Oh, I love this. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. I gave you a raise and a promotion right at the beginning of this, so hopefully it sticks, Nick. Wherever you are. You can't take it back once it's been said. Thanks so much for joining us at Paradise Cannabis in Fort Erie. Take care. Peace, guys.
We're always fresh and a little bit sticky. The green room on Cannabis Wiki.